Good morning, everyone. Oh my goodness, it's so exciting to see your faces. It's been a while. I'm so happy to see faces in the room. Wow. I do this sometimes in rhythmia. I just stand for a while and just take everyone in. So happy to be here. Good morning to you. Good morning to Reverend Michael, where he is at. Thank you for coming out. Good morning to everyone at Rhythmia. I know you're there with me right now. Good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone. I just landed about a week ago. I have this wonderful opportunity now to be going back and forth because I said yes to Reverend Michael. I say yes to him a lot. He kind of knows. He just says, Kimberly, and I say yes. Immediately. So it's worked out pretty darn well for me. I'm quite content with that. So in just coming back from Costa Rica, and I landed just a wee bit ago, I've had the adventure of catching exactly what Reverend Michael's bringing to us this month. I just landed at the perfect time. That when he's speaking of the rise up into your miracles, he wants us to realize that our miracles are everywhere at all times. That he also has done many talks called, we get to normalize the miraculous. And when we start to think of our lives as where can I normalize the miraculous? That each and every one of us have come here at this time in human history to, I believe, normalize the miraculous as our lives. You took a body. What if today, this day, from this moment onward, you and your body, that everything is shifted in it from now on, and you begin to normalize the miraculous? What if from this moment onward, you just got your lotto ticket and you won? Some people in this room have done that. I know them. So what if you just win again, and the lotto you win is that you are now choosing to never forget that you came here to give and to receive and to normalize miracles every single day of your lives. We are in this beautiful field of consciousness. The divine source, God is, that is unlimited by its very nature, is always moving through us. So the unlimited is moving through us. I want to say that again. The unlimited nature of the universe is moving through us. So we are not limited unless we limit ourselves, unless we limit our receptivity. We cannot limit the unlimitedness of God. We cannot do it. But we can absolutely limit our space of receptivity. Which is why today, when I wanted to bring to you the conversation about build the field, and they will come. I swear I'm not Kevin Costner. I'm not. I don't know much about baseball. That isn't where this was coming from. I sit still and listen to Spirit. I am referring to build the field of your receptivity. That you may dream, wish, pray, intend for miracles, for all sorts of things that you desire. But if you're not creating the field of receptivity, it will come to you and may go right by you because you may have your hands up saying, no, thank you, I'm busy. So when we build our field of receptivity, we are always preparing for the miraculous to land. We're giving it fertile soil to say, yes, I'm available, I'm right here. We must think about that we come into this lifetime, clean, awake, with everything we need for this lifetime. I truly believe we come equipped for the journey. We did not come here without a full tool bag. And what occurs in life is during the challenges of life, the joys, the challenges, whatever comes up, we begin to take on other things that look like forgetfulness. We take on hurt, we take on resentment, we take on upset, we take on it's not fair. Why did they have it and I don't? We take on things that are not our natural order of what we intended when we got here. Does this make sense? So we have an opportunity to build the field to receive the unlimited nature of God. We must clean house every single day, every single moment. Every moment we must clean house. And I'm talking about our inner storehouse. If I was talking about our physical houses, you would giggle because my physical house here in the States is about this big because it's a trailer and there's not much cleaning to do. But in my spiritual house, there's cleaning to do, moment by moment, day by day. When we live in a world of circumstances, which again, I want to remind you we signed up for. We all said, I want to come into this body temple, I want to take on this life, every single one of us. And as we live in, the circumstances come to us and we forget who we are, We aren't accessing that field of receptivity, all the tools that we have in our tool bag, because we've forgotten. So the cleaning house is cleaning our consciousness over and over again to remember, recalibrate, reignite, re-inspire our original yes. It's all about getting back to our first breath of our yes. You came out into this body and you said yes by your breath. And then something occurs. So today, what if you began to clean house and check, what am I thinking? What am I saying? What did I just think about that person right there? Clean the inner sanctuary of your soul. When we are cleaning, what do we need? We need a lot of good tools. Think about it. When you clean your house, you need a lot of good tools. You need a lot of stuff. When you clean your inner house, you need practices. Practices. If we aren't practicing, we're just occupying space, but not activating all that we have within us because we're not practicing what we know. To clean house, we must practice. We must be tilling the soil day by day, moment by moment, so that our thinking is clean, that we're judgment-free, that we're observing our lives, not being hooked by it. Does this make sense? I want to read to you what Ernest Holmes says about what we're taking into our systems. He says, it's important you maintain strict censorship over your thinking. Just as you watch your garden, that foreign seeds do not fall into it, so you must refuse entrance to any thoughts you do not wish to see manifest in your life. You must refuse thoughts to anything you do not want to see manifest in your life. He wrote this over 100 years ago, and we're to remember now, if we're to refuse to taking in, letting it stick on us, it's like I say in class at Rhythmia a lot, like we're unsticking the goo of the journey is when we clean house. To look at what thoughts do not need to live here anymore. What thoughts have you outgrown? I like to look at it that way. It's not a good or a bad, but what have you outgrown? What no longer serves you? That you could just rise up and remember, whoa, I don't need that anymore. I don't need to hold judgment. I don't need to think of myself as less than. If we can catch our thinking, we can choose again. When someone says to me, well, Kim, sometimes I just can't stop myself. So, but if you're observing yourself, if you could stand in the observation deck of your life and observe yourself and see yourself getting hooked by anything, triggered by anything, if you can observe, you can change it. You must become a master interrupter. I know we've been taught it's rude to interrupt. But in what I'm referring to, I want you to become masterful at interrupting thinking patterns that no longer serve you. A pattern is just because you've repeated it so often, it's become who you are. You can change that if you clean house. So the practices that I'm speaking to must be activated moment by moment, whether it's meditation, whether it's prayer, whether it's intention, visioning, whether it's breath work, everything that you practice. My definition is anything that brings you back to center. A practice is what brings you back to center. So you remember you are absolutely tuned into God and listening. When you are listening, you're more apt to be a divine receiver. So your practices keep you in tune with what am I thinking, being, activating in my life so that I can be the place where the miracles land. Every moment, day by day, to be the place the miracle lands. We must be in that field of practice where we're absolutely watching what seeds are going into my soil. What seeds am I planting? I planted a lot lately. Anyone else a gardener in this room? Okay, if I'm the only gardener, I like to get dirty. I guess that's it. I just like to get in the dirt. I think I have since I've been little, whether it's on a horse or a dog or I'm in the dirt. But in the dirt, when I'm planting, I'm talking to the earth. Absolutely. I'm moving the soil. I'm blessing it. I'm absolutely connecting with the earth, knowing that my prayers that are in the earth are going down to absolutely cultivate a consciousness somewhere else, touching someone else, because we're all connected. Recently, I had a blessing. We've had quite a few blessings, but recently I had a blessing where I realized I needed trees. As many of you have heard that, our house was taken in the Southern California fires, and I realized one day we need trees. The land's bare. We had a lot of trees, and the land is bare. And I was contemplating, like, I need trees. I'm looking around and start to investigate trees. We need a lot of trees. And I started doing my research and realized that the cost of trees was going to be quite a high and mighty cost. So I sat and meditated and contemplated on, okay, so I'm going to call forth and accept the ABCs. I'm going to speak to you next. The ABCs. The first one's accept. I'm going to accept divine blessings somewhere, but I'm seeing trees. I'm seeing this land filled with trees again, it rejuvenating again. Soon after that, I went for a little jog in the mountains, and when I passed a neighbor's house who had lots of trees, he happened to be out. I had not met this man. His house wasn't taken in the fire, and I looked at him. I go, hey, good morning. I said, I love all your trees. Where do you get your trees? Thought I should start asking. And he looked up and he looked at me and he goes, well, I grow them all. I said, you grow all these trees because they're beautiful? And he said, yes. He said, are you selling them? Are they? And he goes, no, not to people like you. Right about then, I thought, okay, he's heard. It's like that crazy lady up on the hill, right? I'm in trouble. She has all those retreats, does those wacky things, has namaste all over the place, but I just took a breath and looked at him for a minute like, okay, I'm adjusting. And all of a sudden, he took a breath too, and he looked at me and goes, I give them to people like you. How many would you like? I said, how many you got? Because I need a lot. So the next thing you know, that kind gentleman neighbor and his wife showed up the next day with a truck and trailer. They delivered him too. There wasn't even a delivery charge. With 50 trees, 50 in their back of their truck. 50 trees. Talk about praying and accepting blessings before you see it. Part of us cultivating the field of receptivity is we must accept the blessings without ever knowing how. I did not know how. I did not know this neighbor. So it wasn't my business to figure out how. My business was to be riveted in the truth that I'm calling forth and accepting a divine blessing. Blessings come, miracles land, as long as you keep just tilling the soil. And then I went about planting 50, it was either 49 or 50 trees by myself. It was really good exercise. And but the point is, the whole time I'm merging with the soil and I'm planting this, I prayed over every single tree. I prayed and blessed it and said, you will grow tall and beautiful and bring shade to my family. And I know that every one of these trees is nurturing the earth, and I'm so grateful for all of them. Because when we're in the middle of taking our seeds, as Ernest Holmes says, if you let seeds sink in that are not for your highest good, what are you planting? Use every opportunity you can to plant seeds of love, of forgiveness, of healing, of acceptance, whatever you can, so you are allowing your soil to be ready and available for the next miracle to land, the very next one. Those beautiful trees are about twice the size they are now, and they are bringing shade to us, and we love them. Just another possibility of saying yes and thank you. Now back to that point about the how. That how word. I'll tell people that's one word, just kick it straight out the door. There's a few words I ask people to kick straight out the door, how and but. I tell people you got really good butts, sit on them, they look great. Otherwise, leave them out of a sentence. Just leave it out of a sentence. How is somewhat the same for me, is how we're trying to figure it out. And when we're trying to figure something out, we must remember there's a divine time for figuring. Our brilliant brains have divine timing. But when we're trying to figure out how the miracle's going to land, we get hooked in the human dilemma of, I can't do that. How am I going to do that? It is not our job. Your job is to aim and let go. And then from that moment onward, catch divine inspiration. It was divine inspiration for me to say, hey, good morning. Where'd you get all those beautiful trees? Had no idea what was going to come from it. It's divine inspiration when you set an intention, say a prayer, and it gets answered the next week or 2 weeks later or a year later, and you stand in the fullness of it and think, I asked for this. I asked for this. How often have you asked for things? They've shown up in ways you never could have even imagined, and you paused and caught it and went on to the next issue to solve. Do you know what I'm talking about? We must bask in the fullness of celebration of, oh my goodness, I prayed for that, I asked for that, and it showed up. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Every thank you is cultivating that soil. These energetic fields we have around us that we either repel or receive. And if you've been repelling lately, unconsciously possibly, I'm not saying it's intentional at times, but an unconscious repelling is when people want to gift you things, tell you that you look beautiful, say amazing things to you, and you may say, oh no, can't take that. Anyone in here do that? How about we just switch that around today? I started with, what if today was your miracle and it was a game changer for you? If you can just take that on today, that from this moment onward, that there's no more denying, refusing, turning away the good that's coming to you. How do you expect the miracle that you prayed for yesterday to be propelled into motion and to land when you've just said no, thank you, to a few things today already? Somebody tells you you are amazing and you look beautiful, please accept it. Stand there and say thank you. Even if you're uncomfortable, stand there and say thank you. Even if it's hard for a moment because your self-worth may have been harmed at some point, stand there and just be willing to open your heart and say, whoa, this could be hard to accept this, and I'm going to say thank you. Yes? We are here to cultivate a consciousness that is so rich, willing, and available that everything you've intended, dreamed of, wanted, wished for has a soft place to land, and that you can see it no matter how big it is. It can be so big that you can think, oh my goodness, I didn't know it'd come this big. Spirit has no limit. Spirit has heard your prayers, has heard your intentions, whether you're on your knees crying or in bliss. Spirit has heard every single one, and they were propelled into motion. And I do not want you to block the motion from thinking that doesn't work for you, or self-doubt, or anything else, or a big how. Just stay in the now. Let go of the how. And trust the almighty presence, which means you get to cultivate a lot of trust. Trust, trust, trust. So when we're cultivating this field, and I mentioned there's this ABC to cultivating a field of receptivity. A is accept, B is your blessings, and C is cultivating consciousness. Accept the blessings and cultivate your consciousness is your pathway to become a divine receiver. Accept your blessings without asking how. In our family, you can imagine my children get to hear a lot of this. Thank God they still love me. And in times of our lives when we've been having conversations about gratitude, acknowledgement, accepting your blessings, what's your intention, everything that they've heard, one time when Lucas was 13-ish, he had a huge desire to have a skate park on the property. He had a huge desire. He was a big skater. And we had the land, there was a spot there, dirt spot filled with dirt, rock. Wasn't looking like a skate park. But in his mind, he's saying, Mom, but it could be right there. We've got so much room, it could be right there. So we took on this ABC, accept your blessings and cultivate the consciousness. I don't know that I called it then, but it's what we did. And every night after dinner, we went out on the front porch and we looked out at that blank dirt spot. And we stared at it and we thought, nope, we didn't think. We felt, what does it feel like? Can you feel yourself skating right now? Can you feel it up and down those ramps? I could hear the wheels. I could hear them moving, Lucas. I could hear the squeals of joy of everyone on it. And every night we put our hands up and accepted divine skate park occurring in divine timing, wherever that is. We just accept it, accept the blessings, cultivate the consciousness. We were busy about cultivating a consciousness of possibility, that it wasn't a question of, we can't do that. I don't know where we're going to get it. It was absolutely an intention to stay centered, to cultivate a field of anything's possible. So time passes. I don't know time well, if it was a week, 2 weeks, a month. And Lucas and Lila come home, and Lucas says, Mom, they're getting a new skate park at the Boys and Girls Club. We're going to get new ramps this week. And I look at him and go, well, what are they doing with the old ones? And he said, I don't know. I said, well, go ask. So he goes back, he asks, he comes back the next day, and he goes, they're getting ready, getting rid of all of the ramps, but they have to be gone by 5 o'clock tomorrow morning because the new one's coming tomorrow. He goes, and he just kind of looked at me. I went, okay, so we have to be there before 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's like, I guess so. The next thing you know, came in motion, a truck and a trailer was down there by 5 o'clock in the morning, people loading up skate ramps, bringing them up and placing them on the dirt. Brilliant, massive success. We were in joy, blissed out, And all of a sudden we looked at it, they're the ramps, but now when the skateboard comes off the ramp, it's going to be on dirt. Now we need something in between. We need the boards in between to connect all these ramps. So then we went about still stand outside, blessing it. A few weeks went by. Neighbor calls. I think it was a neighbor friend. Said they had some plywood that they weren't using any longer because one side of it had something on it that they couldn't use the plywood. Would you want it? Could we have figured this the how out? We couldn't have figured this out. That's what happens when you let go. So the next thing you know, we went and got the plywood, brought it back up. Within the next day, all the plywood was put together, the ramps were put together, and voila, there was a skate park in the yard. Brilliant. There's wonderful souls here that could attest. They were there that day with their skateboards up and down on Lucas's birthday, squealing with delight. Those were the sounds we'd been hearing months prior. We must cultivate a field of consciousness that anything is possible, that there is no limit to the unlimited nature of God. There's no limit. So when we are allowing ourselves to receive, to catch, to breathe, to pray, to practice, to let go, to come back to our practice again and again and again, even in the moments that we think we can't see it, go practice. Reverend Michael has a beautiful piece in Spiritual Liberation, which is the text that I have the honor and joy to teach here at the Agape University. The next class starts next month. It's a brilliant class. He speaks about practice. He has a chapter on practice. And he says, and I want to get this right, he says, rudimentary theory, wait, hold on, I want to get it right. Rudimentary spirituality is theory. Advanced spirituality is practice. Rudimentary spirituality is a theory. Advanced spirituality is practice. What he is saying is we can know all sorts of things, but if we're not embodying them and living them with every word and every practice, it's just a theory. What I say to people, it's like knowing and wisdom. When you know something, it's like a beautiful library. You walk in and you see, I love all these books. I know them. I've read them. I know this. You can know so much. When you step into wisdom, you are now living so much. When you're stepping into wisdom, it's not easy. It's hard. It's challenging. It gets messy. Cleaning house is messy. Well, who says it has to be pretty all the time? Can it be okay if it's messy because you want a transformation more than you want to look pretty? Does that make sense? Who's up for that? I'd rather be in the mess, dealing with it, but I want my transformation. And if you come here in this lifetime, and you did, then let's get busy about whatever it looks like. My intention is so strong that your intention is to live a life of practice, to stand in the fullness of your life so that this field of receptivity is so rich and ready for your consciousness to expand, to say yes and thank you over and over and over again. You are here to cultivate a consciousness that no matter what is happening in the world, no matter what circumstance is going on in your individual world, that you can stand in front of it fully aware that your practice is bigger than the circumstance, that your practice and your truth of your consciousness sees through the circumstance, sees through a dirt hill and sees a skate park, and you see straight through it until everything around you adjusts itself so it lands. Yes, thank you for that. Thank you. That was a yes. Do we wonder why, if you think about it? Everything else in our life we prepare. We create landing pads everywhere else. If you're in a plane, there's no way that you're just saying that pilot's going to say, I think I'll just land right here and go down. Doesn't happen. If you do anything in life, there's a preparation for where you're landing. In the plane, you're told, buckle up, get ready, put your things away. You prepare to land. And yet in our lives, we haven't prepared our consciousness, our field of receptivity for everything we desire to land. From this moment onward, please, 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 all of you, every one of you, take the opportunity to look at what you desire. Write those intentions down. Say your prayers. Have your practice alive and so full that wherever you're at in the world, you enter with an awakened consciousness. You enter with the fullness of yourself. Your yes and thank you is so big that no circumstance can dim what you know about yourself. There's nothing that you can't have, be, experience that you are desiring. Health, wholeness, business success, whatever it is your inner voice saying, please cultivate me now, cultivate this. Listen, we must become such discerned listeners, brilliant listeners, that we catch the guidance when it's gifted to us and we implement it with courage through our practices so that we bask in this fullness of celebration over and over and over again. Just imagine right now if you're basking in celebration for all that you've dreamed of, wished of right now. The wishes you have, intentions you have today, prayers you are uttering today in this moment, in this room, on this screen, if they are starting to be absolutely multiplied out into the world, because they are, can you till your soil with such love, with such acceptance, with such willingness to know the truth in the midst of the dirt, that you watch everything sprout right up in front of your eyes, in front of your body, under your feet, that you just allow it all to sprout, and then you stay in massive celebration? People in my life know I really love celebration. There's sometimes at Rhythm, I have to tell you this funny thing. I get so happy that sometimes I'm teaching and I'm closing my eyes and I'm teaching and I'm praying, and all of a sudden I open my eyes and there's like 3 times as many people in the room, and I go, ah, this is just like Christmas. I love this. Any celebration to me is a reason to absolutely expand it, be in bliss of it. We have enough in our world where there's challenges. What if we bring to the challenge the joy of the celebration, that we've got a body, we've got a mind, we have choice? Let us bring that to the challenge instead of looking at the challenge and saying, oh no, how am I going to do this? Lean into each other, scoop up each other, and remind each other what we forget when we forget. That we're powerful beings, that we can achieve and desire whatever we wish, but remind each other, hold each other so gently, that in the moments that the circumstance is thick, that you shine brighter than the circumstance because you're held in love. Just as Stacy said, that we're held in love because this is all that Spirit wants to bring us, is more of what we desire. So may you take today, every moment, to allow your consciousness to be so rich. You are here to cultivate a consciousness of any dream possible, that the miracles rise up, as Reverend Michael says. As he teaches us to normalize the miraculous, this is normalizing the miraculous, is you just keep on preparing for more good. Each and every day, prepare for more good. See the world, prepare for good on the planet. When I'm in Costa Rica, I walk that beach and I pray. And I pray for not just my clients and my family, I pray for the world, and I pray that as I'm stepping into the ocean, that my prayers are heard, that people across the ocean feel those prayers through the ocean, through the earth. It's our opportunity, responsibility to love each other so much that we pray for each other before we even know each other, before we see our faces, that we're already holding each other in our goodness of our thoughts. So then when you meet someone, it's like, oh, I know you. I've been praying for you for all my life. And you all showed up. So thank you for showing up. This is why I say yes and thank you to Reverend Michael often. I was preparing my field of receptivity way before that beautiful man said to me, Kimberly, I have to talk to you about something. He doesn't really talk that low, but it sounded like that to me. But I was preparing my field of consciousness way before that moment. If I even think back, it was like in college that I said, I just want to be of service. My intention is to be of service to the world. Show me what that is. And who or how would I know that then I'd roll up to Agape 30-something years ago and never leave? How would I ever know that I'd be in a room with him when he says, I want you to go and lead my class in Costa Rica? How would I know? I wouldn't have named it because I didn't know it existed. That's what's so brilliant. When you don't know it even exists yet, your good is so big. But your willingness to have this field of receptivity ready so that when it comes clear and you're seeing it with eyes of such awe and gratitude that nothing comes from your lips except, yes, I accept. thank you. So I bless you all with these words forevermore. Can everyone just say it with me, please? Yes, and thank you. Yes, and thank you. Again, yes, and one more time. Yes, this is your prayer forevermore, that all those miracles land beautifully on your lap. I thank you so much. I thank you so much for being right here. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness, now you're going to make me weep. Oh my goodness gracious. Ooh. I'm just going to say yes and thank you. Now you're going to make me say it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all. Thank you so much. While you're standing or sitting, let me go straight to prayer, please. Oh, because all of you are my answered prayer. Thank you so much. In this divine moment, I know the divine knower. I'm so grateful that each and every one of us knows the knower. And as we lean into this divine knower, we surrender so deeply today that God is, I am consciousness moves through us in a miraculous way. That there is no limits, there's no hesitation, that we are open and receptive beings willing to cultivate a consciousness that is so rich, so deep, that the miracles are sprouting and rising up everywhere, and we continue to say yes in celebration of all that Spirit is bringing to us. I bless everyone right here that can hear these words, that right in the lives of each and every one of us, healings are taking place, businesses are thriving, relationships are blossoming, all needs met is the norm for us. We're open to accept that the ways that things flow to us are beyond what our human mind can catch, because it's so much more. We let go of thinking we have to know how. There's a let go happening here. There's a house cleaning occurring for each of us forevermore. And as we clean house and let go of the how, we allow our soil to just be juicy, rich, gorgeous, wonderful, willing to receive the miracles in overflow. This is what I know for each and every one of us. This is what I know for Reverend Michael as he travels the world and blesses everyone with his consciousness. This is what I know for my Agape community. This is what I know for Rhythmia Life Advancement Center. This is what I know for our lives. We are here to be blissed out over and over and over again, and this is the day we accept it. In joy and gratitude, I hold in prayer these beautiful individuals on our Agape prayer list. I include in our prayers Andrea and Tim Bell and their baby, knowing divine health, wholeness beyond any human understanding is with them. Anthony Beckwith and Thelma Chichester, all love surrounds them, health, wholeness, all love surrounds them now. That Jimmy Fitzpatrick is held in healing vibration, and his beautiful wife Jody, that they are held in love and healing is occurring right in this moment. And Gladys Boyd, that her health and wholeness is absolutely radiant and healing in this very breath. Prayers for Willard, for Shirley Baker. Prayers for anyone that's in your heart right this moment. Hold them, utter their words, that you are holding them in sweet prayer for all their needs to be met, that we are witness to cultivating the field of consciousness, that we accept their prayers are met, that we know that there's healing taking place. And as we stand as a united front, knowing this, being unmoved by the circumstances, we allow the healings to occur in just such a multiple action. They just keep occurring, and we just keep saying, thank you, God. We accept this. I bless this day as sacred and divine and holy as it is. I accept every breath, and I accept every prayer, knowing it is done. I release this word, for there's nothing for me to hold on to, for I trust Spirit so much. I simply let go and let it be. And together we say, and so it is. Amen, amen. It's good to be alive. Thank you all so much. Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you. I love you, Jamie. Thank you all so much. So much. If you could have a cozy seat. I'm so honored that you were standing with me.